All right, bam, here we are. We're live. It's another day and another amazing wrestling mind in our country. He is the new coach at King's College. Brought him back home to upstate PA, Northeast PA, and he was a D1 qualifier at Bloomsburg University. He was a freestyle U.S. National University National All-American. He was a four-time Pennsylvania State champ. He was a longtime assistant at App State. He also assisted at Buffalo, and he's back home at King's College. How are you, Coach, man? Welcome.
That's awesome. Just excited to be here. I do have to correct you. I should have said so. I forgot, but I was not a four-time state champion. I was four-time district champion. I can't quite claim that status yet. I wish I could, but four-time district champion actually in Pennsylvania.
Four-time district champ in Pennsylvania. Correct. Oh, is that what it said? It said four-time PAIA state district 2 champion. Okay, so that's probably what it meant. All right, yep. Well, that's still pretty damn good. So good for you. And anyway, we're here live with him now. First of all, welcome, Coach, man. I'm absolutely honored to have you on. It's great. I know you and your family, you had mentioned that 6-month-old, so kind of brought you back home to Northeast PA, and an opportunity to finally get your own program and not be an assistant anymore, and kind of put your own bow on it, per se. But first of all, talk about this off season, this crazy things that have been going on, and man, how has it affected your world?
I mean, it's been a whirlwind. Obviously, I was at Appalachian State last year, and then our obviously having our season cut short was awful, and dealing with that was not a whole lot of fun. And then we were just on the recruiting trail, doing a lot of Zoom meetings, as you can imagine. And then out of the blue, I just got a phone call from Kings, and they were interested in me applying to their position, and obviously me having a newborn, being close to home sounded really enticing. So decided to kind of go through the interview process, and the more and more time I spent with the people in charge over at Kings and the leadership there, the more excited I got about the opportunity. And I was just lucky enough to be chosen to take over the Kings College wrestling program as their first full-time head coach. So really excited to kind of see where we can take the program. We have a great tradition. We have 18 All-Americans, 2 national champions, all of which, most of which were local boys here as well. So, I'm excited to continue the tradition.
Man, that's awesome and good for you. And I know being a new parent, you're from the area, so I'm sure that that has helped. I'm sure mom and dad and family are happy to get to be around their grandbaby.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, my mom and all my family has been great. They've really are excited to just be around him more. Obviously he was only 6 months old, so obviously they had a lot more time to come down and see him, but they certainly have made up for lost time. We're around our family a lot, and it's been a really, really good change of pace for us.
Awesome. Is your wife from the area also?
Yeah, so I'm actually currently sitting in my mother-in-law's basement in Muncie, Pennsylvania. Perfect. And then my folks live just about 20 minutes down the road. So yeah, so she's local. We met in college at Bloomsburg, and we've been together ever since.
Nice. Well, cool, man. Good for you. So first of all, talk about King's College taking over there, and kind of what kind of culture, philosophy are you looking to kind of instill in the program? And a lot of, what can you bring from the program you've been at that's been very successful in the SoCon to King's College to help build the program there?
It's not going to be a whole lot different than what we've been doing at Appalachian State. At Appalachian, we were limited in our resources as far as scholarships go. So I'm used to recruiting a non-scholarship athlete like you'll be doing at the Division III level. So obviously, when you're looking at a recruiting aspect, our focus is academics and extracurriculars. We get a lot of guys. Obviously looking at various programs that Kings has that are very, very competitive nationally. Great business program, engineering program, all the sciences you could ever think of. And then, we're just really looking for guys that want, those kind of things. And then, like I said, some other extracurriculars we have, a really good ROTC program. So, those guys that are looking military aspect, maybe might not be quite sure what they want to do in that regard. You can go into an ROTC role, and still be able to wrestle here at Kings. But as far as building the program, again, I think I've been very lucky to have some great mentorship. Obviously, being under John Mark Bentley for the last 5 years, I've learned a lot from him, and plan to take a lot of the things that we have developed over at Appalachian over to Kings. I think one of the big things that we're going to instill is our skill development process. I'm not sure if you'd ever talked to Coach Bentley about what we do, but a lot of our technique philosophy is all based around skill progression that our guys do. So I really plan to implement that over at Kings, and I'm going to have to take my my hustle mentality over to Kings. We're going to recruit heavily in the Pennsylvania area. We're going to have to recruit in volume. We really need to get our numbers up. So I plan to bring in a lot of guys next year and hopefully build our roster up to a good size, and to make us competitive. And then, we're really just focusing on, just becoming a better team. We're really looking forward to, trying to get competitive in dual meets, and then start putting some individuals into the national tournament, and finding our way onto the podium.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, listen, it's a good program you came from, and that's part of life. You go somewhere, you gain the knowledge to be able to grow, and when you get the reins, you get to ride the horse, and man, it's pretty good. And yeah, I haven't talked to him specifically about a lot of that stuff, but I did watch a really cool video. I think it was last year, where you guys had brought in like a trainer, I guess he is over there, and but he does things kind of untraditionally. Like he was doing these finger training skill things, where he got these balls and tied them up on something. He was doing kind of different stuff. So it was pretty cool to see how he kind of adapted to the wrestlers, and helped them out, because obviously the football program has definitely grown that program. But so now at Kings, man, that's awesome. So you're out there, you're getting recruits. How can I know you said you're Division III?
Yeah, we're Division III.
So like, I'm a kid out there, and I'm looking to wrestle at the next level. What do I need to do, or what intangibles do I need to have to get the opportunity to talk to Coach Roosa or be in his program?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm looking for guys that love the sport. Especially at the Division III level. Obviously you're not doing it for money. There's no scholarships involved, so it's got to be something you're passionate about, and it's something that you want to be involved with the sport. If you do it just because Coach Bentley's coined this task, another Coach Bentley quote. If you do it just because you're good at it, it's probably not good enough. You got to do it because you love it. It's just, if you feel like it's just something you're supposed to do, you're never going to be very good at it. So I'm looking for guys that are passionate about the sport, who are eager to get better at wrestling, and that just want to hustle. I'll take anybody. I mean, if you love to wrestle and you want to work hard, King's College is the place for you.
Nice. And from the parents' perspective, I know that when you're in a house, you're recruiting the family too. And most parents, I'm sure, are going to say, I'm glad that wrestling gets him here, but how are you going to make sure that you keep him focused in the classroom?
Yeah, I mean, Kings at Kings, academics is our number one priority. So my job, first and foremost, is to give you a great experience in the wrestling program, and then it's also to keep you on track and give you a solid foundation to continue your success in the classroom. Another thing, we really are trying to develop solid young men. I'm not just trying to build great wrestlers. You could find great wrestlers anywhere, but you don't find great men all the time. So I'm really, as coaches, especially at the Division III or the D3 level, we're in the job of building young men, not necessarily great wrestlers. Not many people have the opportunity to make wrestling a career. So, I'm hoping that we can really start moving our guys forward and making sure that they're getting skills not only as wrestlers but as men. So, teaching commitment, teaching loyalty, teaching drive, hard work, all those things. Those are things that are really important. I think they're not just going to get a great education at Kings. They're going to get a great education, and they're also going to be well-rounded young men.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So good, man. Hey, King's College, Coach Roosa, yeah, get up there and wrestle. And obviously, you're in a hotbed of wrestling, so I'm sure you'll be able to. I think it's like talking to like this. I've talked to some D3 and coaches over in Ohio, and they're like, we just put our pan out, and the ones that drip over from the D1 we get because they could be state champions anywhere else. So I'm sure in PA it's a lot of the same thing. You're just like, okay, I'll just catch the drops from Penn State and Pitt and those type of places, and Lehigh and Penn, and man, you got so much good wrestling there. It's amazing. So talk about your time at Bloomsburg. What made you choose Bloomsburg? Why was that the college for you? And talk about your college career and what you would tell young men out there to prepare themselves for college.
So my recruiting process at Bloom was actually really short. My family has gone to school there forever. I used to go to club there. I used to go to camp there as a kid. Where I grew up in Mountaintop, Pennsylvania is only about 30 minutes from Bloomsburg. So, and I had family that lived in the area as well. And my parents actually live close to Bloomsburg now. So, it's just a school that I was very familiar with. I knew the coaching staff really well, Coach Stutzman, and at the time it was Coach Fraunhofer who ended up being the coach at University of Columbia before I got there. But I knew those guys really well, and like I said, the recruiting process was really short. I committed pretty early, and so that's I really knew where I wanted to go right away, and the academic piece fit well for me. The size of the school was kind of what I was looking for as well. So, it just checked off all the boxes pretty easy. So, and then, my time at Bloom, it was great. Coach Stutzman was an intense individual and still is. He pushed us really, really hard, and he got the most out of us for sure. I think on our team, less than half of our team had won a state championship before. And then he took us, and by the time I was a senior, we were ranked 14th in the country. We had beaten a lot of good teams. We had beaten Edinburgh in their heyday, University of Michigan, Pitt. We beat a lot of really good teams, and we were tough. We had a lot of good guys on that team, and I think our work ethic is what really drove that, and I think that's where I got a lot of my intensity from, was going to school there. So my time at Bloomsburg was amazing. And then if I was telling somebody that was going through the recruiting process what I'd be looking for is obviously you're not going to go somewhere only because of the wrestling program. The school has to fit you. So you got to make sure the school has all the things that you're going to need to be successful academically, as far as academic services, the major that you're looking for, things like that, making sure that the size of the school is right for you. I see a lot of kids that, go to bigger schools or and just aren't happy. That wasn't the right fit for them. And, they probably didn't take that into consideration during the process. So just know what you want, sit down and write down the things that are important to you, and kind of check them off and make sure that, whatever you do choose is what's right for you.
Yeah, and well said, because I think a lot of kids need to know that. There was another, I'm trying to remember. There was a coach I had on that just started a D3 program, new program, and he said make sure you're focused on the next 40 years, not the next 4 years. So it was a pretty good quote, and yeah, it makes sense, right? Pick your college based on that. After college, did you get right into coaching, or did you test yourself on the world level, or?
No, so I actually I went through a lot of injuries in college. I had I think I'm on to 5 knee surgeries now. I had 4 in college. So after my last match, I was done with wrestling. I wanted no part of it. I don't know if that was just because it was too soon, or I was sick of the disappointments and not getting what I wanted. But so I actually got out of the sport. I actually started selling cars right out of college. So sold cars for a year.
Up in Philly?
No, so I was at a small dealership in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. At the time, it was called Paul Stein Chevrolet, but
Oh, I
it's
sold
now
it.
Murray Chevrolet
I
now.
sold at Fred Bean's.
Okay,
So
that's
for 20
awesome.
years, I spent 20 years in the car business before I got out 2 years ago. And
I enjoyed the car business. I didn't enjoy the hours. I was sick and tired of getting 90+ hour work weeks of just grinding,
bell to
just
bell,
nonstop. But it was a lot of fun, and it actually taught me a lot of things. I think it's probably the best thing that anybody can do. If you're not quite sure what you want to do, don't just jump right into wrestling. If you're a wrestler, I would not do that. Get out there and experience something else. And then it's either going to do one or two things. It's going to say, hey, this is what I need to do, or it's going to say, hey, I need to go back to wrestling. It's going to give you your answer. So, but anyway, so yeah, I sold cars for a year, had a lot of fun doing that. And then, of course, Coach Stutzman called me and convinced me I wanted to be a wrestling coach, and offered me a job on just about nothing. So I lived in poverty for about a year up in Buffalo. So he gave me my first coaching gig up in the University of Buffalo. Enjoyed every second of it. It was great, and really enjoyed just the coaching aspect of things. Obviously I had never experienced it before, so I found that I really liked it. And then after that year ended, so kind of funny story, my college roommate Frank Hickman was an assistant at Appalachian State. So me and Frank we were roommates together for 5 years at Bloom, and he went to work for Coach Bentley, and that's kind of how we got hooked up. So he left. He's actually coaching MMA out in Thailand now. So he's doing some cool things out there.
man, let's get him on the show. How cool would
Yeah,
that?
you got to get that guy on the show. He's a treat. He's something else.
Send me his cell number when we get
Yeah,
off.
I'll do that. But yeah, he's at Tiger Muay Thai out in Thailand. So he was coaching at App, and I got hooked up with him. So when he left, he kind of was like, hey, you should apply to the job. And I was like, all right. And I applied to the job, and it's funny. So we were at University Nationals coaching the Buffalo guys. And obviously Coach Bentley was like, hey, why don't you just ride with us home so he could save me a plane ticket? So he didn't have to buy me a plane ticket to come down there. So I actually drove with Coach Bentley back to Boone from Akron, Ohio in the bus. Interviewed there, and a little while later he called me and offered me the job, and I've been there ever since. So my coaching journey's been a fun one for sure.
Ate some chicken wings right there across the street, and at that little bar. What's that bar where everyone
Tap
goes?
room over there.
Yeah,
It's a good spot. Yep.
that was fun. My son and I were playing darts in the first door you come into. It was fun. Yeah, man. I don't. I told that coach, I go, how do you not? These SoCon. I had another SoCon on yesterday. He's not currently working at SoCon, but I had Scotty Boykin on.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you look at the SoCon cities. Like, how can a kid you go to the Carolinas and Georgia and Virginia and up there? Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I tell you, I'm a Philly guy, man. I love Philly. I love Northeast Philly. I love the area. I was up there while my wife was in. She was doing optometry school, so we had a blast. My grandma raised us in South Florida, but she was a Philly girl, so we grew up Eagle fans and Dolphin fans. So
Nice.
I don't know. I think her Irish heritage made her a Celtic fan because she didn't root for the 76ers. But I find that everyone likes the Phillies and the Eagles and the Flyers, but the 76ers are like the stepchild.
Yeah, they are the stepchild for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, no, Philly's a great town, man. I love it up there, and I think I haven't been to Pittsburgh, but they say that's a really super cool town too. But man, I do appreciate you coming on. I got some questions for you. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So more prestigious, Fargo or the 32?
Fargo. In my era, it's probably different now though.
Yeah. Burgers or wings?
Burgers.
VA duels or Disney duels?
Ooh. Again, in my era, Virginia duels. Now it's probably Disney.
I saw you guys down at the knockout this year.
Yeah, I was down there. It was an awesome tournament. Awesome tournament.
Oh, so you're the guy that handed me the pamphlet, probably. You were
That was me. Yep.
leaning up against the wall, and I came up and said, "Oh, I love that place," and you gave me a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Philly cheese or pit kielbasa?
Man. I'll have to go with the kielbasa.
They're both good, huh? All right, the Walsh Jesuit or the Beast of the East?
Probably Iron Man. So Jesuit.
Eagles or Steelers?
Steelers.
Reno or Escape the Rock?
Since I'm a former champion of Escape the Rock, I'm gonna have to take Escape the Rock. I got my belt at home. Don't worry.
Nice. The Brotherly Love or the Steel City?
I'll have to go Steel City.
Pan Ams or Cadets?
Cadets.
Bloomsburg or Boone?
Oh man, that's rough. I'm gonna have to go Bloomsburg.
That's home, right?
Oh yeah.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, those are my little fun questions that I had, and I didn't know where to go because you're like right in the middle of both of those big cities.
Oh yeah. I mean, we get pulled both directions. You get a mix of everything from it, so
Yeah,
you can kind of pick both sides, and you'll see what happens.
and it's crazy when I look up. I didn't have to look up anything for Pitt and Philly food because I've had a bunch of Pitt guys and I had Philly guys on, but when I go around the country and I do my little research for 10 questions and kind of mix in some stuff about the area, it's crazy how many different cultures there are in our country. Like,
Oh yeah.
up in
Lots of them.
one area is Dutch, and you find over here it's German, and you find over here like something else, and you're like, how did we get an Indian culture there? And like it's pretty awesome. I know pierogies are big. I like those.
Oh yeah.
I
love all Polish food. It's the best.
Yeah. It was awesome, man. Well, this is really fun, man, and I look forward to speaking to you again sometime. Hopefully
Definitely.
get into the room and get the room opened up. We can get back on and bring on some of your recruits or whatever and shout them out. And I appreciate it, man. And yeah, man, if you send me that dude's number, I'll try and get him on up in Thailand. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll have to do it. I mean, I'm gonna have to warn you. He's a little off the wall, but I don't take any responsibility for what he says about that.
I'm very not normal myself. I'll be all right.
For sure.
All right, brother. Hey, good luck with that. I hope you continue to build champions, continue to kick life's ass, and enjoy that new baby of yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. It's
All right,
awesome
you have a
watching
great
what you guys do. See ya.